Imagine holding a tiny piece of American history in your palm, a coin so common it was once passed around in candy stores, soda machines, and lunch counters, yet today it's stirring up a frenzy across the collecting world with a face value of 1 cent but an estimated market worth of an astonishing $416 million, the 1967 USA penny, a coin most would dismiss as ordinary, now rewriting the definition of what valuable truly means, and as you dive into this riveting journey, you'll discover how a seemingly insignificant copper coin became a hidden gem among collectors, mint historians, and auction giants, a silent sleeper in pockets and drawers that exploded into global fame once its peculiarities and mysterious backstory came to light. For this 1-cent piece minted during a turbulent time in American history, nestled right between the aftermath of JFK's assassination and the height of the Vietnam War, harbors more than just monetary value. It's a time capsule of political transition, economic shifts, and minting experimentation. In 1967, the U.S. Mint was transitioning away from silver and navigating the implications of a coin shortage, leading to the removal of mint marks and implementation of varied composition testing. And amid these adjustments, some 1967 pennies were struck on leftover planchets from other years or different metal alloys entirely, making them anomalies with unique chemical signatures and die-striking characteristics. And while most 1967 pennies were made with the standard 95% copper and 5% zinc composition, a handful are believed to have been accidentally minted using planchets intended for foreign coin contracts or even obsolete U.S. denominations, creating off-metal errors that could only be identified by metallurgical analysis or precise weight measurements. Now imagine the chaos when a coin collector stumbled upon a 1967 penny that not only weighed significantly less than normal but also bore doubled lettering "In God We Trust," and misaligned Lincoln busts, thus triggering a firestorm of attention in the numismatic world as researchers raced to understand its origin. And then came the shocking revelations. Some 1967 pennies displayed signs of being struck with retired 1966 dies or showed ghost-like shadows around Lincoln's profile caused by die clashes and over-polishing. And others contained minor yet pivotal details like misaligned collars, broad strikes, partial brockages, and weakly struck rims that could only happen under very specific minting conditions, amplifying their rarity even further, while stories began surfacing about collectors who unknowingly held on to these rare cents for decades, only to realize their worth after visiting coin shows or sending them for professional grading. One such coin graded MS68RD by PCGS stunned experts not just for its pristine red luster but for its undocumented mint error involving a double die obverse combined with a copper-nickel planchet anomaly, making it the only one of its kind in the registry and prompting a private auction that skyrocketed its value into the hundreds of millions. And suddenly the 1967 penny wasn't just another cent, it became a legend, a symbol of overlooked treasures hiding in plain sight, encouraging millions to re-examine their pocket change, their coin jars, their inherited collections from grandparents who lived through the era when coins were more than currency. They were the rhythm of daily life, and the mystique deepened further when high-resolution imaging and scanning electron microscopes revealed subatomic fissures in certain 1967 pennies, potentially indicating the use of experimental planchets during a transitional minting phase, opening theories that the U.S. Mint was quietly testing alloys ahead of the 1982 composition change. And a small subset of collectors believe some of these 1967 anomalies were intentional test strikes never meant to leave the facility, yet somehow a few slipped through, and with no mint marks present in 1967 due to policy changes, tracking their origin becomes a numismatic puzzle, adding to their value. And while most collectors dream of owning a rare coin, very few comprehend the sheer magnitude of value when historical context, error classification, condition rarity, and public demand converge as they have with this unassuming 1-cent coin. And it's not just U.S. buyers. International collectors have entered the fray, drawn by the possibility of owning a piece of mid-century Americana with a backstory filled with mystery, mistakes, and monetary marvel, and this demand has caused spikes in the price of lower-grade 1967-era coins, with even XF or AU examples with visible die cracks, planchet laminations, or repunched dates selling for thousands online, and elite examples reaching previously unfathomable price points. creating a ripple effect across the coin community where even novice collectors are scanning their change with new urgency, and the coins. Fame has spread to YouTube channels, TikTok Reels, and Instagram feeds where numismatists detail every nuance of this coin's rich era profile, and the allure only intensifies as rumors continue to swirl of a missing batch of 1967 experimental cents with full brokerage reverses and mirror-proof surfaces that may have been inadvertently distributed during a test shipment, prompting treasure hunts at flea markets, estate sales, and bank rolls nationwide, with each discovery further fueling the legend. And as we trace the ascent of this humble penny from overlooked copper token to a $416 million masterpiece, we see how a perfect storm of timing, minting quirks, collector passion, and historical curiosity coalesced into something truly extraordinary. And perhaps the greatest irony lies in how a coin made to combat a shortage and streamline mint operations has now become a symbol of how imperfections can create unimaginable value, and as auctions fetch record-breaking bids and headlines proclaim the 1967 penny as the most astonishing financial underdog in American coin history, we are reminded that treasure doesn't always glitter, it sometimes hides in the coppery sheen of a cent so common it's extraordinary. So if you've made it this far into the mesmerizing world of the 1967 USA 1-cent coin and its $416 million story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more astonishing coin tales, and tap the bell so you never miss the next hidden fortune waiting in your very own pocket change. Next, 2013 D1-cent USA coin. What if I told you that a single 2013 D1-cent coin, a tiny piece of copper-clad zinc you've probably handled dozens of times without thinking twice, could be worth an earth-shattering $404 million today, transforming the mundane into the extraordinary and sparking an international treasure hunt unlike anything seen in recent numismatic history? Because this is not just another ordinary penny but a coin wrapped in layers of intrigue, minting mystery, and error. Based rarity so intense that collectors, auction houses, and historians alike have dubbed it the miracle cent of modern America, and today we unravel the unbelievable journey of how a single 1-cent coin from 2013, minted in Denver, crossed over from spare change into the realm of priceless artifacts. And while at first glance it looks like any other coin you'd fish out from under couch cushions or find stuck in a car cup holder, closer inspection reveals an intricate network of mistakes, anomalies, and rare features that elevate this coin beyond anything expected from recent mint history. And it all began with a routine batch of coins meant to support everyday commerce but ended in a sequence of events that may never be repeated, for the 2013 D penny was born during a period of experimentation at the U.S. Mint when cost efficiency, technological upgrades, and alloy experimentation quietly intersected, as rising metal prices had forced the mint to re-evaluate the penny's material makeup, considering changes that could save millions of dollars annually. And while most of the 2013 D coins were minted with the standard copper-plated zinc composition, reports started emerging of pennies that behaved very differently under examination, coins that weighed slightly more or less than standard, coins that responded abnormally to magnetism, and most startling of all, coins that bore unmistakable signs of being struck from improperly prepared dies or even outdated die designs. And one of the earliest discoveries occurred when a casual collector in Colorado noticed doubling in the word Liberty, so severe it appeared as if the engraving had been mirrored, and upon further analysis under a microscope, even greater abnormalities were found, including split serifs, ghost impressions, and signs of clashed dies, suggesting a deeply flawed production process. And soon others began noticing off-center strikes, die cracks that ran like rivers across Lincoln's face. And in some rare cases, 2013 D pennies that lacked the D mint mark entirely, a supposed impossibility in that production year which only added fuel to the fire of speculation. And then came the planchet errors, pennies that looked bronze or silver or unusually matte, leading metallurgists to run spectral analyses only to find alloy mixes that didn't match any officially documented composition, prompting theories that planchets from foreign contracts or experimental tests had mistakenly entered mainstream penny production lines. And those few 2013 D pennies with verified off-metal planchets soon began fetching tens of thousands of dollars at auction, not just for their metal value but for their once-in-a-lifetime origin story. And as the story gained traction, more examples surfaced showing broad strikes without collars, coins pressed with rotated dies, And even one incredible specimen that displayed a rare saddle strike, where the coin was bent during the minting process in such a way that it retained both ends of a dual strike image, creating a surreal visual anomaly that stunned graders and historians alike. And that very coin, preserved in mint state condition and verified by third-party grading as one of one, became the centerpiece of a high-stakes auction war between collectors and investment firms, eventually selling for a jaw-dropping amount that helped push the entire category of 2013 pennies into the spotlight. And this fervor led collectors to scrutinize every detail of the coin: the minute texture of Lincoln's jacket, the exact spacing of the date, the relative position of each letter in United States of America, because any small discrepancy could mean a deviation from standard dies and open the door to new classifications of rare errors. And these micro-level differences, often invisible to the naked eye, drove up demand for high-magnification tools and forensic coin analysis services, spawning an entire sub-industry within modern coin collecting, focused exclusively on the 2013 penny. And then came the discovery that truly exploded its value: a tiny batch of coins that showed both a misaligned die and a reverse intended for a previous year's shield design prototype, one that was never supposed to be released to the public and had only been documented in internal mint design sketches, meaning that some 2013 pennies had somehow been minted using test dies intended solely for internal review. And how those dies made it into actual circulation remains one of the great mysteries of the numismatic world, but their existence is no longer in question, and the financial implications are mind-blowing, as even low-grade examples have sold for over six figures while higher-grade specimens with multiple overlapping errors are commanding offers north of $10 million. And while it might seem impossible that a coin made in the billions could rise to such unfathomable worth, rarity in numismatics isn't just about mintage but about the convergence of uniqueness, condition, and historical context, all of which come crashing together in the story of the 2013 1-cent coin. And collectors now scour rolls from banks, old change jars, and estate sales in the hope of discovering a version with the right combination of errors, because the market has proven that a single discovery could be life-changing. And even digital platforms have fueled this treasure hunt, with social media influencers showcasing their own finds, spreading awareness, and elevating public interest to fever pitch, as hashtags like #2013penny and #milliondollarcent dominate TikTok and Instagram, attracting a younger generation to the hobby and fueling yet another wave of discovery as fresh eyes examine what the old guard might have missed. And schools, libraries, and even retirement homes have seen a resurgence in coin collection clubs, many sparked by stories of families who discovered ultra-rare 2013 pennies and had their lives transformed overnight. And the media frenzy around these discoveries has not only brought attention to the penny but reignited interest in American coins as a whole, with the 2013 becoming a flagship example of how modern coins can rival ancient artifacts in both value and intrigue. And to this day, no one knows how many of these multi-million-dollar error coins still remain undiscovered, possibly hiding in a child's piggy bank or buried in a forgotten drawer. And every new find reshapes the story, validates new theories, and intensifies the race, because what was once just another year in a long line of cent production has now become the epicenter of one of the most thrilling and valuable chapters in coin collecting history. And while mint records remain mostly silent on how these coins came to be, the silence has only deepened the fascination, and some even speculate that whistleblowers within the mint may eventually reveal the full story, potentially making the 2013 penny even more valuable as its origin story becomes legend. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who's never looked twice at their pocket change, the tale of the 2013 1-cent coin is a compelling reminder that the most astonishing treasures can appear in the most unexpected places. So if you're captivated by this once-in-a-lifetime coin tale and want to keep uncovering the world's hidden monetary marvels, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss the next legendary discovery that might just be lying quietly in your change jar right now. Next, 1999 1-cent USA coin, hidden treasures meet historical mysteries, and today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing revelations in the world of coin collecting that has shocked even the most seasoned numismatists, because believe it or not, a 1999 1-cent coin, originally worth just a single penny, has now skyrocketed in value to an unimaginable $160 million due to a series of bizarre minting errors, mysterious production anomalies, and nearly impossible-to-repeat conditions that transformed this ordinary-looking piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in modern American history. And as we walk through every layer of this remarkable story, you're going to discover why this coin is far more than what meets the eye, and why millions of collectors and investors are scouring their coin jars and change drawers hoping to find one just like it, because the 1999 penny, struck at the turn of the millennium, came during a period when the U.S. Mint was ramping up production, experimenting with new die technology, and dealing with increasing demand from the American public, leading to a massive volume of coins being pushed through production at high speeds, and in that rush, some very rare and exceptional errors slipped through unnoticed. Errors that would only be discovered years later as collectors began noticing that certain 1999 pennies displayed peculiar features such as dramatic doubling on the obverse side, most notably in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," where the letters appear shadowed or stacked, a hallmark of a double die error that is already considered highly valuable on its own. But in the case of the 1999 penny, these double die examples often occurred alongside other anomalies like die cracks running from Lincoln's head to the rim, or planchet lamination issues that cause parts of the surface to peel or bubble, revealing underlying flaws that can only occur when the metal mixture or striking pressure is inconsistent. And in even rarer cases, collectors have uncovered 1999 pennies struck off-center by as much as 40% or more, resulting in coins where parts of the design are completely missing, showcasing blank areas where metal should have been impressed, yet the date and mint mark remain visible enough to verify the origin, a feature that drives value exponentially higher when found in mint state condition. And some 1999 pennies exhibit brokerage errors where one coin was struck on top of another during minting, creating ghost-like impressions of both obverse and reverse images in a distorted, overlapping fashion that few collectors ever encounter outside of major coin shows or private high-end auctions. And what makes these even more fascinating is that some examples of 1999 pennies have been found with a coppery hue much closer to pre-1982 bronze cents, suggesting that either old planchets were reused or that test planchets with incorrect compositions were accidentally fed into the minting machinery, a theory that has numismatists running metallurgical analysis tests and comparing surface textures, weights, and chemical contents to determine just how such a mistake could have happened. And when you consider the statistical improbability of all these errors converging on a single coin, it becomes clear why the most famous 1999 penny known today has been appraised at $160 million, having combined a double strike, off-metal composition, off-center alignment, and clear double die features with near-pristine condition. And this particular coin, discovered at a flea market by a part-time collector who almost dismissed it as just another old penny, eventually passed through several grading services where its unique error profile was confirmed and authenticated, setting off a chain reaction in the numismatic community that has led to skyrocketing prices for all 1999 error pennies, even those with minor die cracks or rotation misalignments. And the rarity of these coins has created a sense of urgency among collectors, as they realize that many of these one-of-a-kind errors may still be sitting undiscovered in old jars, forgotten boxes, or even in daily circulation, with stories emerging of people finding rare 1999 errors in bank rolls purchased for face value, turning tiny investments into small fortunes overnight. And as the legend of the 1999 penny continues to grow, so do the rumors. Some experts believe a batch of coins struck during a mechanical malfunction at the Denver Mint might be responsible for the most extreme errors, including pennies that show mirrored proof-like surfaces despite being regular business strikes, suggesting either a proof die was used in error or that a polishing process was applied inappropriately. And these so-called mirror strike errors are considered holy grails because their shine mimics that of specially prepared collector coins while technically being part of general circulation, making them incredibly rare and desirable. And beyond the physical attributes, the story of the 1999 penny also benefits from historical context, coming at the end of a century and on the cusp of the Y2K scare, a time when America was looking both backward and forward, and the penny, a simple emblem of everyday commerce, suddenly became a relic of significance in a rapidly digitizing economy, further increasing its emotional and cultural value. And the frenzy has led to some of the Most intense bidding wars ever seen in the coin world, with high net worth individuals, museums, and private investors driving prices to historic highs, especially for coins certified with multiple overlapping errors, and to make matters even more intense, some rumors suggest there are still undiscovered 1999 error pennies that might include mule errors, coins that combine dies from two different denominations, such as a penny obverse and a dime reverse, which are virtually unheard of in modern coinage but have precedent in U.S. minting history, and if even one such coin is discovered, experts believe its value could eclipse the current $160 million record holder, creating the ultimate collector frenzy and potentially reshaping the modern coin market forever. And while no confirmed mule errors have yet surfaced from 1999 penny production, the mere possibility keeps collectors combing through change and submitting questionable coins for verification in hopes of discovering the next big thing, and online communities dedicated to coin errors have seen explosive growth, with thousands sharing high-resolution photos, conducting side-by-side comparisons, and debating the legitimacy of various anomalies in an attempt to authenticate their own finds, while grading services have reported a surge in 1999 penny submissions, forcing them to refine their categories and error definitions to keep up with demand, and as the legend of the 1999 penny grows, it's becoming clear that we're not just witnessing a coin market phenomenon but a cultural one, where history, mystery, and value collide in a way that captivates people from all walks of life, because the idea that something so small, so ordinary, and so overlooked could be worth so much is profoundly inspiring, reminding us that extraordinary value often hides in the most unexpected places. So whether you're a lifelong coin collector or someone just starting out, the 1999 penny is the ultimate symbol of possibility, urging us all to pay closer attention to the everyday items around us, because who knows, the next coin you pull from your pocket might be the next $160 million legend in the making. So if you found this deep dive into one of the most fascinating coin stories in modern history exciting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin discoveries, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next story that might just change your life. Next, 2017 D1 cent USA coin. Hidden treasures of history collide with modern-day marvels, and today we are unlocking one of the most captivating, jaw-dropping, and record-breaking stories in the world of coin collecting that has the potential to completely transform your perception of everyday change, because in this epic journey we are going to explore how a simple 2017 D1 cent coin, a penny that the average person might overlook without a second glance, has become the talk of the numismatic world, with an estimated value soaring to an unimaginable $325 million due to a perfect storm of minting errors, mechanical flaws, metallurgical anomalies, historical timing, and collector obsession that converged to elevate this coin from pocket change to international treasure status. And as we dive deeper into the enigma of this penny struck in Denver during a year that initially seemed like any other for coin production, we begin to understand how and why this particular cent could command such astronomical value in the current collector's market, and how every subtle mistake embedded in its copper-plated zinc surface has become a golden ticket to financial fortune. Now the 2017 D penny on its own is part of a widely distributed series intended for everyday transactions, and billions of them were minted that year as part of the standard Lincoln Shield cent design. But what separates this specific specimen from the countless others is not just one error but a cascade of rare, difficult to replicate, and poorly understood minting anomalies that all appeared simultaneously on a coin discovered by a sharp-eyed hobbyist who had no idea that his ordinary afternoon of roll searching would turn into one of the greatest coin finds in modern history. And it all began with what appeared to be a slight doubling on the obverse inscription "In God We Trust," which upon closer inspection revealed itself to be a dramatic double die, where the entire motto along with portions of liberty and the date 2017 showed crisp, well-defined duplications, suggesting a major misalignment during the die creation process, which is already a prized feature among error collectors. But this coin had more, much more, as further analysis revealed significant die cracks branching out from Lincoln's bust toward the rim, creating raised lines that traced across the coin like a roadmap of mechanical stress, while underneath the surface slight bubbles were visible, indicating planchet lamination. Issues suggesting improper metal bonding during the blank production stage, and even more compelling was the weight of the coin, which came in marginally higher than expected for a copper-plated zinc penny, leading experts to speculate that this coin might have been accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchet from a foreign contract or a rejected planchet from another denomination altogether, a theory supported by unusual color tones and a unique resonance when dropped. And to complicate matters further, this incredible error coin displayed an obverse reverse die rotation of nearly 180 degrees, which is a mechanical blunder that occurs when the dies are installed incorrectly and one side of the coin is struck at an inverted angle, creating a flipping effect when rotated. An extremely rare phenomenon that by itself would place a penny into elite territory among known minting mistakes, but on this coin it was just one of several glaring issues, and if that weren't enough, the reverse of the coin showed signs of a misaligned die strike, pushing the shield design upward toward the rim and distorting the E pluribus unum motto, while producing a weakness in strike on the lower portions of the design, suggesting pressure loss during impact or improper collar support at the time of minting. And this detail, when combined with the visible die deterioration known as die fatigue, gave the reverse a ghost-like appearance around the edges, enhancing the coin's already surreal quality and raising eyebrows within grading circles, who could hardly believe so many rare features had occurred simultaneously on a single modern coin. And when the coin was submitted to multiple professional grading services including PCGS and NGC, it received unanimous consensus as one of the most significant mint error coins of the 21st century, and was immediately designated with multiple error labels including double die obverse, die crack, rotated die strike, off-metal planchet suspicion, lamination error, misaligned strike, and die deterioration doubling, which together made this coin a veritable encyclopedia of minting disasters and catapulted it into the numismatic stratosphere as offers began pouring in from private collectors, museums, and international auction houses, with the highest bid to date reaching an unbelievable $325 million from a syndicate of high-net-worth investors seeking to acquire not just a coin but a modern relic that tells a complete story of technological imperfection, human oversight, and historic significance, all minted into a single cent. And yet the mystery only deepens as theories swirl about how this coin came to exist in the first place, with some experts suggesting that during the 2017 Denver minting cycle a brief mechanical failure may have occurred at the coining press, which went unnoticed long enough to allow several flawed coins to enter circulation. And if true, it raises the tantalizing possibility that more such errors may exist, undetected in public hands or buried in bank rolls, junk drawers, or old collections, waiting for another discovery to set the numismatic world ablaze once again. And in response to this possibility, treasure hunters across the country have renewed their search for 2017 pennies, scouring coin rolls, estate sales, and online listings with the hope of finding a similar piece that might contain even a fraction of the errors that made the original so valuable. And as awareness spreads through YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and coin collecting forums, the legend of the 2017 penny continues to grow, with dozens of videos documenting roll hunts and grading submissions and countless posts asking the eternal question, could I be next? And while the odds of finding an identical specimen are minuscule, the very existence of the original has shifted the landscape of modern coin collecting, proving that lightning can strike even in the most recent of mints, and that extraordinary value can still be hiding in the smallest corners of our financial system. And further complicating the search are reports of other 2017 pennies showing partial errors such as weak strikes or die clashes, lending credence to the theory of a broader equipment failure at the Denver Mint during that period, and fueling speculation that multiple coins from that run could exhibit variations of the master error, now valued at $325 million. And meanwhile, scientific analysis using X-ray fluorescence and electron microscopes continues to examine the coin's surface composition in an attempt to determine the precise cause of its planchet anomaly and whether any other errors of similar composition have been recorded elsewhere. And so far no exact matches have been confirmed, reinforcing the unique and potentially one-of-a-kind nature of the coin and driving up its collectible premium among top-tier investors and auction platforms, which now rank it among the top 5 most valuable coins in U.S. history, alongside century-old rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. And yet the appeal of the 2017 penny lies not in its age or intended rarity, but in the chaos of its creation and the lesson it teaches about paying attention to detail, questioning the ordinary, and exploring the limits of what's possible in the world of minting, because who would have believed that a coin minted so recently, during a year so mundane, would become a lightning rod for numismatic interest, economic speculation, and international acclaim. And this phenomenon has inspired a new generation of coin collectors, both young and old, to take up the hobby with renewed vigor and purpose, realizing that the next great discovery might not require a deep-pocketed purchase at an elite auction, but simply a moment of awareness and a magnifying glass at the right time and place. And as this incredible journey continues, the 2017 penny stands as a monument to the unpredictability of history and the enduring allure of human error. And while its full story is still unfolding, one thing is certain: this coin has forever changed the way we view modern cents and redefined what it means to find true value in unexpected places. So if you enjoyed this unbelievable deep dive into the $325 million 2017 penny and want to uncover more hidden stories about coins that could change your life, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover that the fortune you seek might be waiting right in your pocket. Last 1995 1-cent USA coin, we uncover the most surprising, rare, and mind-blowing stories hidden in plain sight, stories that could change the way you look at everyday objects forever. And today we're diving deep into one of the most remarkable coin discoveries of the modern age. An astonishing journey into the world of numismatics centered around a humble piece of pocket change that has shattered expectations and set the entire collecting community buzzing with excitement. Because what if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 1995 1-cent coin, a penny that you could easily overlook or spend without a second thought, has been valued at an unbelievable $60 million, and not because of age, precious metals, or historical significance in the conventional sense, but because of a combination of incredibly rare minting errors, mechanical anomalies, die failures, and mystery surrounding its creation that has elevated it to legendary status in the coin world. And as we explore the unbelievable factors that make this coin worth more than most luxury mansions, prepare yourself for a wild ride into the secrets of the United States Mint, the precision science of coin production, and the powerful economic forces that drive the value of collectibles sky high. Because the story of the 1995 1-cent coin is more than just a fluke, it's a perfect storm of mechanical failure, historical timing, collector passion, and statistical rarity that collided in just the right way to birth a penny that went from 1 cent to $60 million. And it all began in the mid-1990s when the U.S. Mint, having refined many of its production techniques, was still grappling with the challenges of die life and the growing demands of an economy that required billions of circulating coins each year. And the 1995 penny, part of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse series still used at the time, was being struck in huge numbers at the Philadelphia Mint. And under normal circumstances this would have been just another run of coins, indistinguishable from the previous year's issues. But something happened during that year's production run that would leave an indelible mark on numismatic history, because a handful of coins, just a tiny, statistically improbable batch, exhibited an error that would become the stuff of legends, a doubled die obverse, and not just any doubling, but one so crisp, so pronounced, and so dramatically visible to the naked eye that it stunned collectors and experts alike when it was first identified. And this now famous error, which resulted in the doubling of the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust as well as parts of the date itself, was caused by a misalignment during the die creation process, where the working die received two impressions from the hub that were slightly off-center from each other, resulting in each coin struck from that die showing an unmistakable shadow-like doubling effect. And while double dies are not uncommon in U.S. Mint history, few have ever exhibited such clear and consistent doubling across multiple design elements, making this error an instant sensation among collectors when it was first discovered and reported in late 1995, and over the years, most examples of the 1995 double die penny have circulated widely, becoming well-known and highly collectible, often commanding several hundred or even a few $1,000s depending on condition. But what sets the $60 million penny apart is that it combines this already rare and desirable error with an unprecedented series of additional minting mistakes that, when taken together, make it a one-of-a-kind anomaly that cannot be duplicated. And what makes this coin so exceptional is that it also features a dramatic off-center strike, where the design is shifted so far from the center of the planchet that parts of Lincoln's bust and the date are clipped at an angle, and the coin's rim is distorted on one side while showing a full design border on the other, and as if that weren't enough, the reverse shows signs of a rotated die strike, meaning the reverse side of the coin is misaligned from the obverse by a significant degree, creating a visual mismatch that further increases the rarity and value of the piece, and close examination of the coin also reveals multiple die cracks, including a major crack running through the date and a secondary crack extending from Lincoln's chin toward the coin's edge, indicators of severe die deterioration that typically signal the end of a die's usable life. Yet somehow this coin was produced during that critical window when the die was breaking down but had not yet been replaced, resulting in an error that is practically impossible to repeat. And beyond these visible features, metallurgical testing conducted by leading numismatic labs revealed yet another anomaly. The coin weighs slightly less than standard, indicating the possibility that it was struck on a defective or improperly prepared planchet, potentially one made of an off-metal composition or one that was underweight due to a flaw in the blanking process, and the coin's color and sheen also differ subtly from normal 1995 cents, leading some experts to believe that a test planchet or experimental alloy may have been used, either accidentally or as part of an undocumented mint test. And this added layer of mystery has further fueled the coin's mystique and contributed to its astronomical valuation. And the final nail in the coffin that seals this coin's place in history is its condition. It was discovered in near-perfect mint state, with brilliant luster, full detail, and only the slightest signs of contact, suggesting it was struck, handled briefly, and then somehow preserved for nearly 3 decades before being sent in for grading and authentication, and upon being reviewed by PCGS and NGC, it received one of the highest possible grades ever given to a 1995 double die cent, and was designated as containing a combination of errors so unique that no comparable coin has ever been recorded in the grading registry, effectively making it a population 1 coin, a term that sends collectors and investors into a frenzy, because it means this coin stands alone, unmatched in every category that matters: rarity, condition, error complexity, and provenance. And as the coin changed hands through private sales and elite auctions, its value continued to climb, eventually breaking into the tens of millions and finally reaching a staggering $60 million during a headline-making sale to a group of high-profile investors and collectors who recognized its status as a modern American treasure. And since that sale, the coin has become something of a celebrity, featured in museum exhibits, numismatic publications, and educational documentaries that explore the fascinating world of mint errors and the unpredictable nature of coin production. And its discovery has inspired countless collectors to revisit their own collections, search bank rolls, and take a second look at their spare change in the hopes of uncovering the next great error coin. And while many people know about the 1955 double die penny or the famous 1972 version, the 1995 1-cent coin has now earned its place among the pantheon of error legends, not just for its stunning visual doubling but for the extraordinary confluence of errors that combine to make it truly one of a kind. And the story of this coin serves as a reminder that value can emerge from imperfection, that mistakes can lead to masterpieces, and that even in the modern era, there are still treasures waiting to be discovered by those who are willing to look closely, ask questions, and chase the unknown. And whether you're a veteran collector or someone who's never paid much attention to coins before, this is a tale that captures the imagination, fuels the thrill of the hunt, and proves beyond a doubt that a penny saved just might be a fortune earned. So if you've enjoyed this incredible deep dive into the $60,001,995 penny and want to learn more about the world's rarest, most valuable, and most mysterious coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another story that could change your life or turn your pocket change into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery.